You ever sit alone at night staring at the ceiling, wondering why life feels like it's slipping through your fingers? You talk about success like it's your destiny, yet every morning you wake up and live the same story, the story of a loser. Harsh? Maybe. But the truth doesn't care about your feelings. You're addicted to losing. You've built a home in failure and called it comfort. Every excuse you make, every I'll start tomorrow, every I'm tired is your drug. You've convinced yourself that comfort is peace, but it's poison. You scroll through your phone watching people win, and deep down you hate them because they remind you of what you could have been if you had the courage to fight for yourself. You're not broken. You're lazy, soft, and addicted to being average. You've been lied to. Life doesn't reward the almost committed, the nearly dedicated, the sometimes motivated. It rewards the obsessed, the ones who wake up hungry, the ones who'd rather die than stay the same. Until you hate losing more than you love comfort, you'll never win. Winning demands pain, sacrifice, and madness. So ask yourself, are you ready to be reborn, or will you keep dying slowly every day? Comfort is the silent killer of ambition because it feels so harmless, so peaceful, so justified. It whispers to you that you deserve a break, that you've done enough for today, that tomorrow will be the day you start again. But tomorrow never comes. Comfort is that soft pillow that holds you hostage, the warm blanket of excuses that hides your wasted potential. It doesn't attack you like pain or fear. It seduces you slowly, gently convincing you to stop reaching, stop fighting, stop growing. You don't even realize it's killing you until your dreams have already turned to dust. The most dangerous prison in life is the one that feels like home, and comfort builds it brick by brick while you smile and call it happiness. People think the enemy of greatness is failure, but it's not. Failure teaches you, humbles you, burns you into something sharper. Comfort does the opposite. It dulls you. It tells you that it's okay to stay the same, that your small efforts are enough, that ambition is for someone else. You start lowering your standards without even noticing. One day you skip the gym. One day you ignore your goals. One day you decide to rest, and suddenly a year has passed and you're the same person. Weaker, softer, and more comfortable in mediocrity. Comfort doesn't just steal your time, it steals your hunger. And once that hunger is gone, your fire dies with it. Abraham, look around. The world is divided between those who chase comfort and those who chase greatness. Comfort seekers always talk about balance, about taking it easy, about not pushing too hard, as if life will somehow hand them success for being reasonable. But the truth is brutal. The world rewards the obsessed, not the balanced. You can't have greatness and comfort at the same time. You have to choose. Very legend you've ever admired, every champion, every entrepreneur, every warrior, they sacrificed comfort. They embraced the pain most people run from. They knew that the price of comfort was mediocrity, and they refused to pay it. Comfort disguises itself as peace, but it's really decay. It's the quiet erosion of your potential. It's the slow death of ambition through convenience. When you choose comfort, you're telling the universe that you don't want more. You're saying, this is enough. I'm done growing. But life doesn't stop moving. If you're not growing, you're dying. You see, comfort doesn't keep you still. It pulls you backward. While you rest, someone else is grinding. While you scroll, someone else is studying. While you relax, someone else is building. And when you finally decide to move, you'll realize you've fallen behind in a race you didn't even know you were losing. You were not built for comfort. You were built for conquest, for evolution, for struggle. Every great thing you'll ever achieve will come from discomfort, from the late nights, the sweat, the fear, the sacrifice. Discomfort is where you discover who you really are. That's where confidence is born, where self-respect grows, because you can't respect yourself if you keep choosing comfort over challenge. Deep down, you know that. Every time you skip the hard thing, a piece of you dies inside, that whisper that says you could have done more. And that whisper will haunt you for the rest of your life if you don't learn to silence it with action. Comfort wants you to believe that happiness is the goal. But true happiness isn't found in comfort. It's found in progress. It's the pride that comes from doing what others won't, from conquering what once scared you. You'll never feel truly alive while staying comfortable because comfort doesn't challenge your limits, it hides them. The joy you're looking for lives on the other side of discomfort, in the sweat, the effort, the pain. That's where growth happens. That's where winners are made. So ask yourself right now, how much of your life has comfort stolen? How many dreams have you delayed because it was easier to rest than to rise? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, knowing you won't? The truth hurts, but it's supposed to. That pain is a wake-up call. It's your soul begging you to stop wasting your potential. Comfort might feel safe, but safety never created greatness. The day you decide to reject comfort, to run toward the struggle, everything changes because discomfort is the forge of strength. Every moment you choose discipline over ease, you build power. Every sacrifice you make pulls you closer to the person you're meant to become. You don't need more time, you need more courage. Courage to step away from comfort and into the fire, because only there will you find the version of yourself capable of winning. Comfort is death dressed as peace. Choose pain, choose effort, choose growth. Because comfort will keep you alive, but discomfort will make you unstoppable. Excuses are the currency of losers because they let you buy temporary comfort at the cost of permanent regret. Every time you make an excuse, you're trading your potential for a lie that makes you feel better in the moment. You tell yourself it's not your fault, that circumstances held you back, that you'll try again later, and for a brief second, you feel safe. But that comfort is poison. Excuses are the language of weakness, the invisible chains that keep you stuck in the same place year after year. They make failure feel justified. They convince you that you're doing your best when deep down, you know you're not. You don't lose because you lack opportunity, talent, or luck. You lose because you've mastered the art of explaining why you're not winning. Excuses are dangerous because they make failure acceptable. When you say, I didn't have time, what you really mean is, I didn't make time. When you say, I'm too tired, it means I'm too weak to push myself. Every excuse sounds reasonable when you say it, but every one of them is a brick in the wall separating you from success. Winners don't speak the language of excuses. They speak the language of results. They understand that life doesn't care about your reasons, only your outcomes. The truth is, the world doesn't owe you understanding. It owes you nothing. You can tell people your story, your hardships, your struggles, but in the end, nobody's going to hand you victory because you had a rough start. Everyone has pain. Everyone has challenges. The difference between the weak and the strong is that the strong use pain as fuel and the weak use it as an excuse. Excuses are the easiest thing to create and the hardest thing to destroy. They make you feel smart, as if by explaining your failure, you've somehow justified it. But deep down, you know you're lying to yourself. You know that the reason you're not where you want to be is because you haven't done what's necessary. You've settled for almost. You've accepted good enough. You've let fear disguise itself as logic and laziness as reason. Excuses are the defense mechanism of the mediocre, built to protect the ego from the truth that you simply didn't try hard enough. And until you face that truth, nothing changes. The worst part about excuses is that they don't just slow you down, they shape your identity. Every time you make one, you reinforce the idea that you're a victim of life rather than the master of it. You teach yourself to surrender. You start believing that things are just the way they are. You lose your power, your accountability, your edge. And once you give those up, you've already lost the fight before it begins. Life respects responsibility. The moment you stop blaming and start owning, you take control back. The moment you say, this is on me, is the moment you begin to evolve. Because ownership creates strength, and excuse breed weakness. The people who win in life are not the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who refuse to make excuses. They work through pain. They work when they're tired. They work when it's inconvenient. They understand that consistency beats talent when talent hides behind excuses. The difference between a winner and a loser isn't capability, it's accountability. Winners take full responsibility for everything in their life. If they fail, they learn. If they succeed, they build. Losers blame, complain, and explain. Winners act, adapt, and overcome. Berkey excuses are addictive because they protect your pride. They let you avoid the embarrassment of admitting you fell short, but that same protection is what kills growth. The pain of honesty is temporary. The comfort of excuses lasts forever, and it keeps you small. Growth only comes through confrontation, confronting your laziness, your procrastination, your lack of discipline. When you stop making excuses, you strip awe. Why the lies and face the truth head on. And that truth, as painful as it may be, is the only foundation for change. You can't rewrite your story while you're busy explaining why you haven't started. You can't build a legacy while defending your comfort. Every minute spent making an excuse is a minute you could have spent improving yourself. The world doesn't need another excuse maker. It needs fighters. People who show up even when it hurts. People who do what's required, not what's convenient. Because at the end of the day, excuses won't lift you out of failure. Effort will. Excuses won't earn you respect. Results will. Excuses won't build your dream. Discipline will. Ebert work. So stop trading your potential for excuses. Stop selling your greatness for cheap comfort. You're better than the lies you tell yourself. Every excuse you make digs the hole deeper, while every action you take builds the ladder out. Winners build, losers explain. Life will always test you with pain, failure, rejectio, and struggle. But your response determines your destiny. You can either keep paying in excuses or you can start investing in effort. One buys regret, the other buys freedom. The choice is yours. But remember this, the longer you keep paying in excuses, the poorer your life will become. Discipline will save you when motivation dies because motivation is fragile. It's emotional, unpredictable, and fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. One day you feel unstoppable, ready to take on the world, and the next day you can't even get out of bed. That's the truth about motivation. It's unreliable. It's easy to act when you feel inspired, but what happens when the inspiration fades? What happens when the excitement turns to exhaustion, when the goal feels too far away, when no one's watching or cheering you on? That's when discipline steps in. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the force that pushes you forward when your feelings say, stop. It's not emotional. It's built on commitment, not comfort. Most people start strong but never finish because they rely on motivation to carry them. They wait to feel ready before taking action, as if success will wait for their emotions to align. But winners don't wait to feel ready. They act regardless of how they feel. Discipline is the muscle that keeps you moving when everything in you wants to quit. It's the quiet, consistent grind that builds empires while others sleep. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. The truth is, you'll lose motivation hundreds of times on the path to greatness. You'll wake up tired, bored, angry, uninspired, but discipline doesn't care. Discipline shows up anyway. It doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't need permission. It just does what must be done. Discipline is a promise you make to yourself, a vow that says, no matter how I feel, I will show up. Because the world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards consistency. Every great thing you've ever admired, the athlete's victory, the entrepreneur's empire, the artist's masterpiece, was born out of discipline, not motivation. Behind every success story are days of silence, sacrifice, and repetition. Days where motivation was gone, but the work still got done. People think success is about passion, but passion fades. Discipline is eternal. It's the ability to keep going long after the fire of motivation burns out. Motivation is like a spark, exciting but short-lived. Discipline is the engine that keeps burning long after the spark is gone. Motivation might get you to the gym for a week. Discipline gets you there for years. Motivation might push you to start a business. Discipline keeps you building when no one believes in you. Motivation might get you to open the book. Discipline makes sure you finish it. Discipline is the difference between temporary effort and lasting change. It's the structure that turns chaos into order, dreams into plans, and plans into results. The reason discipline is powerful is because it trains your mind to act independently of your emotions. It gives you control over yourself. Most people are slaves to their feelings. If they're tired, they rest. If they're sad, they stop. If they're not in the mood, they don't try. But discipline breaks that cycle. Discipline teaches you to do what's required, not what's convenient. And once you master that, you become unstoppable. Because when you can act without needing to feel good, no external factor can control you. You become your own source of power. Discipline doesn't feel good, at least not at first. It's boring, repetitive, and often painful. But that's why it works. It hardens your mind. It teaches you to push through discomfort, to silence the voice in your head that says, I'll do it later. Over time, discipline becomes your identity. It becomes who you are. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the right time. You simply ACT, and that consistency compounds. Every small act of discipline, every workout, every hour of study, every minute of focus builds a foundation of strength that motivation could never give you. There will be days when everything feels meaningless, when progress seems invisible, when doubt screams louder than belief. In those moments, discipline is your only ally. It's what keeps you grounded when your emotions betray you. It's what carries you through the storm when motivation has long vanished. Discipline is loyalty to your purpose. It's saying, I'll do this not because I want to, but because I must. That's where transformation begins. In doing the work when no one's watching, when no one claps, when no one cares. Discipline will save you because it's real. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Feelings change, but decisions define you. Motivation fades, but discipline grows stronger the more you use it. Discipline is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary. It's what builds warriors out of weakness, success out of struggle, and character out of chaos. When motivation dies, and it always will, discipline is the force that keeps your heart beating, your hands working, and your purpose alive. It doesn't care about how you feel. It only cares about who you want to become. That's why discipline will always save you, because when every excuse, emotion, and doubt has burned away, discipline remains standing tall, ready to carry you forward. Success demands obsession, not interest, because interest is weak. Interest says, I'd like to do this. Obsession says, I have no choice but to do this. Interest fades when things get hard, when the results are slow, when comfort starts whispering in your ear. Obsession doesn't care about comfort, excuses, or time. It consumes you. It's the fire that burns inside you day and night, the voice that wants to let you rest until you've built what you were born to create. The truth is, the world doesn't. Reward people who are merely interested. It rewards those who are obsessed. Interest starts the race, but obsession finishes it. Most people never achieve greatness because they only show up when it's easy. They treat their dreams like hobbies, something they do when they have time. But obsession doesn't wait for free time. It makes time. When you're obsessed, it's not about balance or convenience. It's about purpose. You wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep planning it, and even when you rest, your mind is still running toward it. That's the level of intensity success demands. It's not about working hard once in a while. It's about dedicating every ounce of your energy to a vision no one else can see but you. Interest will make you talk about your goals. Obsession will make you live them. Interest makes excuses. Obsession finds a way. Interest wants approval. Obsession creates proof. That's why so few people ever rise to the top. Not because they lack talent, but because they lack obsession. The world is full of people who kind of want it. The marketplace of life doesn't pay for kind of. It pays for those who breathe their goals, who treat success like oxygen. You can't be casually committed to something extraordinary. You have to be consumed by it. Obsession doesn't mean you never rest. It means your rest has a purpose. Even when you pause, you're strategizing, analyzing, improving. Every moment feeds your mission. To the average person, obsession looks like madness, and that's fine. They won't understand. They're comfortable living a life that's good enough. But good enough has never built empires. Good enough never changed history. Good enough never made legends. Obsession is what separates the great from the forgotten. Every genius, every champion, every innovator was once called crazy until they won. The difference between interest and obsession is that interest gets bored when it doesn't see results. Obsession keeps going until it creates them. Interest is emotional. It depends on how you feel. Obsession is spiritual. It's tied to who you are. It becomes part of your identity. When you're obsessed, quitting doesn't exist in your vocabulary. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done. You don't need motivation because the mission itself fuels you. You don't care about opinions, distractions, or validation. You're too busy chasing mastery. Where obsession demands sacrifice. It will cost you comfort, relationships, free time, and sometimes even your sanity, but it gives you something greater. Purpose, clarity, power. Most people fear obsession because it isolates them, but that isolation is where greatness is forged. You have to be willing to walk alone for a while. The nights when you're the only one grinding, when no one believes in you, when you question yourself. That's where obsession proves its worth, because obsession doesn't ask for results overnight. It asks for loyalty. It asks you to trust the process, even when the outcome is invisible. The truth is, the world is full of people who dabble, people who are interested in success until it gets uncomfortable. But those people will always be spectators. The obsessed are the ones who change the game. They don't need external motivation because their desire burns from within. It's not a hobby, it's a calling. When you're obsessed, you don't ask, how long will it take? You ask, how far can I go? You stop counting hours and start counting progress. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing greatness. Obsession gives you an edge because it eliminates hesitation. While others are debating whether to act, you're already moving. While others are waiting for the perfect plan, you're building momentum. Obsession turns time into a weapon. Every second becomes an opportunity to improve, to grow, to move closer to the vision. And when you live like that, you become unstoppable. Not because you're better than everyone else, but so if you refuse to stop. So if you want to succeed, stop being interested. Stop saying I want it and start proving it. Tear out the word maybe from your life. Replace it with must. The truth is, success doesn't care about your intentions. It only recognizes results. And results belong to the obsessed. Interest might make you start, but obsession will make you legendary. You must be willing to give everything. Your time, your focus, your peace. Because only obsession builds a life worth remembering. When the world sleeps, the obsessed are still working. When others quit, the obsessed keep going. That's why success bows only to those who refuse to be casual. Success demands obsession. Total, unapologetic, all-consuming obsession. Because anything less simply isn't enough. You must hate losing more than you love comfort. Because comfort will always tempt you to stop, to rest, to accept good enough. But losing, true losing, should burn deep inside you. It should sting so badly that you can't sleep at night knowing you could have done more. That hatred of losing is the fuel that drives greatness. Comfort whispers, you've done enough. Hate for losing screams, keep going. The truth is, success belongs to the ones who fear regret more than they crave rest. Comfort gives you a temporary sense of peace, but losing gives you permanent pain. And that pain is what shapes champions. Most people never win because they don't hate losing enough. They tolerate it, they fail, shrug their shoulders, and move on as if nothing happened. They don't feel the sting, they don't feel the shame, they don't feel the urgency to fix it. That's why they keep losing, because they've made peace with it. You cannot improve in anything you tolerate. The moment losing stops hurting, you've already lost for good. Winners, on the other hand, let that pain carve them into something stronger. Every defeat fuels their fire. Every mistake becomes a weapon. They study their losses like sacred texts, searching for every lesson, every weakness, every reason to come back sharper. They don't run from the pain, they use it. Burkey comfort is seductive because it tells you that you've earned the right to relax. It tells you that tomorrow will always be there, that another chance will come. But tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Every second you spend indulging in comfort is a second you lose momentum. Comfort kills hunger. It makes you soft, slow, and forgetful of what it felt like to be starving for success. You stop fighting, and slowly you start dying. Hate for losing, however, keeps you alive. It reminds you that every moment matters, that every action counts. When you hate losing enough, you'll do whatever it takes to win. Not because it's easy, but because the alternative is unbearable. Losing isn't just about failure in competition. It's about losing time, losing focus, losing discipline. Every time you hit snooze, every time you procrastinate, every time you choose comf or over effort, you lose. And if that doesn't bother you, then success will never be yours. Winners treat losing as a disease they refuse to live with. They'll sacrifice sleep, comfort, and even relationships before they let mediocrity settle in. They understand that life is war and every decision is a battle. Comfort is the enemy's weapon. It lures you into weakness while convincing you you're safe. But there is no safety in stagnation. There's only decay. You have to train yourself to crave the grind more than the ease, to value the pain of progress over the pleasure of comfort. Because comfort feels good now but costs you everything later. Losing feels terrible now but teaches you everything you need for the future. Hate for losing keeps you sharp, hungry, and dangerous. It gives you purpose. Comfort takes it all away. The more you love comfort, the less capable you become of enduring hardship. And since success is built on hardship, comfort becomes your biggest enemy. See Bert when you truly hate losing, you become ruthless with yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for motivation. You start demanding more from yourself. More focus, more effort, more resilience. Hate for losing transforms discipline from a chore into a lifestyle. It becomes automatic. You show up because the thought of falling behind disgusts you. You give your all because anything less feels like betrayal. That's how winners are made, not through luck, not through talent, but through an unbreakable refusal to accept defeat. Most people talk about wanting success, but they don't want it badly enough. They want comfort more. They want sleep, distractions, and ease. And the world gives them exactly that, mediocrity. But those who truly despise losing will sacrifice everything for victory. They'll endure the pain, the exhaustion, the loneliness, because they understand one simple truth. Comfort is temporary, but losing is forever. The satisfaction of comfort fades quickly, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. So, ask yourself, what hurts more? The pain of discipline or the pain of losing? If you choose comfort today, you'll pay for it tomorrow. But if you choose the grind, the sacrifice, the struggle, you'll earn something comfort can never give you: pride. Real pride. The kind that comes from knowing you refuse to quit. The kind that only warriors understand. In the end, life will test which one you love more, your comfort or your dreams. The weak will always choose comfort, and they'll spend their lives wondering what could have been. The strong, the relentless, the obsessed, they choose the fight. They choose the burn. They choose to hate losing so deeply that they'd rather bleed for victory than rest in mediocrity. Because when you hate